You have probably never seen a menehune. Very few are left in Hawaii, and the few that are here almost never let themselves be seen. Many, many years ago, however, most of the people in Hawaii were menehunes. They were the cutest, most lovable, hardest working little people in the whole history of the entire islands. Back in those days, life was very simple. Everything the menehune did was done with stones. Their homes were made by piling stone upon stone upon stone, and they sat on stones for chairs. The young menehune played with stones, using them as balls. Because there was no money, the menehunes used stones to trade for their food and clothing, and this often led to confusion since it was very hard to tell one stone from another. Each menehune would keep his money stones in his own pile. He would take a few whenever he wanted to trade with someone, and he would add to his pile whenever he had some extra. And sometimes, though, a menehune would forget where his pile was, or worse yet, would take some stones from somebody else's pile by mistake. As the menehunes grew in number, the confusion over whose stones were whose became even greater, until one day the two tiniest menehunes solved the problem for once and for all. Little Kai and little Kauai were walking through the forest when they came upon a great big stone house. It seemed to Kai and Kauai that this big old house would be a perfect place to keep everybody's money stones in order to keep them from getting lost or picked up by someone else by mistake. Well, they ran back to town to tell all the other menehunes their idea, and all the other menehunes thought it was a wonderful idea. And one by one, the menehunes carried their money stones to the savings house Kai and Kauai had found. They decided to call it the American Savings House. Many people don't realize it, but American means helpful people in Menehunian. As time passed, the menehunes found new ways for the American Savings House to help them. For instance, since everybody was saving his money stones at the American Savings House, there were many, many stones on hand when one needed extra stones for very important things like a new house. It was agreed that good, hard-working menehunes could borrow money stones in just such cases. Because it was easy to see how important saving money stones could be, American savings people decided to reward their savers by adding free money stones to their supply as long as the little savers' own money stones stayed in the American Savings House for a while without taking them out. Now this was called interest, which means extra in Menehunian. Well, today, even though the form of money has changed to pieces that are much easier to carry and to count, and even though practically nobody ever sees a menehune anymore, American Savings is still helping everyone in Hawaii in exactly the same way they always have. Kai and Kauai are still fondly remembered as moneyhunes. In fact, that term has come to be used for all little savers who are wise enough to save their money by keeping it safe at American Savings.